Hello viewers, welcome to my Doctor Who themed YouTube channel, Who Ventures, and this is my review of Series 11, Episode 6, Demons of the Punjab. The writer is Vinay Patel, and my score is 10 out of 10. So, we start with the credits, and I asked Mum what she thought of the credits. And she said she likes them and they make you excited. So we start in Sheffield and it's Yaz's nanny's birthday. And her nanny is talking all about her life, and she's giving out presents. And she's saying she was the first woman married in Pakistan, and she was the first Muslim to work at a Yorkshire mill. So she gives presents to her family, and Yaz gets her granddad's watch, which is broken. And Nani talks about how she has these stories, but she doesn't want to talk about them yet. Maybe when Yaz is older. So Yaz gets the idea in her head that she wants to go and see her nanny when she was younger, and she wants to go in the TARDIS. So we're in the TARDIS, and the Doctor's got all her welding gear on, and she, Yaz wants to go to Lahore in the 1950s. And then Graham says something, and there's about the previous adventure was a deadly turtle army nearly got them. And there's a bit of banter in the TARDIS, which is really cute. And then the Doctor flies TARDIS off to Pakistan. The TARDIS arrives in not Lahore, and there's immediately the Doctor, she steps into this place and she gets a sudden headache, and there's a flash of creatures. And then this guy driving this car with turns up, and he's looking for Umbrian, who is Yaz's nanny. And the guy with the cart, and I put Yaz's granddad, and the guy with the cart is Prem, and he gives them TARDIS team a lift. And then Yaz asks the Doctor if she's alright, and the Doctor says, I intercepted something in my brain. So, and then there's a holy guy, and he waves the guy Prem, and the cart waves to him, and then you see an armoured alien watching. And then the score of this episode is beautiful. It is amazing. So this young guy, his job is delivering flowers, and Umbrian lives on a farm, and this sort of isn't what Yaz pictured at all. And Yaz goes straight in for a hug with Umbrian and starts explaining how she's related, and she hasn't quite got the hang of time travel to relatives yet. So the Doctor is like a bit nervous that Yaz is going to meddle with something. And then there's a wedding tomorrow, but Yaz reveals that the guy who Umbrian's getting married to, that's not her granddad. So something happens differently. And the guy is wearing the watch that she got in present day. And then there's a cute little joke about Graham, and Ryan says, don't let him sing. I thought that was funny. And then so Yaz is talking about it's all different, it's not like what her nanny told her in the present day. So the doctor runs into the barn and they're listening to the radio, and the TARDIS has actually landed on the 17th of August 1947, which is the partition of India. And they listen to the radio, and there's about these borders being put in place in India. So Umbrian's house has been means it is now in Pakistan, and there's brothers in conflict. Prem's brother fought in the war with his other brother who got killed, and he saw these demons in armor leaning over his brother. So, and then these demons appear, and they're all in armor and a bit like insectoid with lots of eyes, and the doctor's chasing after them. And then we see these demons crouching over the holy man, Bhakti, who is a sadhu holy man. And the assumption is that they're demons and they're evil and killing things. That's the assumption from what they look like and how they are different. So the doctor realizes that now I did get some names mixed up. So these aliens have been seen before, and Prem is suspicious. I think it was Prem with. I got confused a bit. So there's this purple pollen type dust, and Umrian's mother thinks the marriage is cursed. So they lay to rest Bhakti, and then the doctor is looking to investigate the demons with Prem and Ryan, and they talk about the partition and how their country was just carved up in 6 weeks. So they find a transmat doorway, and it transports them into the demon ship, and then the doctors all getting worried about something. So when the doctor is worried about something, she starts to just babble on about stuff, and the Ryan's like, I get that and I'll get that's what the doctor's behaviour is. So she in the spaceship, and they get this computer working, and the aliens are through the Jarian hive, and they're known as assassins, and there's a sort of a hologram of Bhakti's face and head, and they assume from that Bhakti was their target and that he was killed. And so there's 3 brothers, and Prem, Kunal and Manish, and they all fought in the war, and Kunal was killed, and Prem saw these demons over him, and he takes the charm, the figurine from him, and has his figurine. The doctor promises to protect them and takes the capsule out of the spaceship, and then the demons arrive, and they infiltrate, because they've got really harsh voices, and infiltrate into their brains, and the doc's shouting at them to not do that. And so Ryan and Prem running out of the forest because she tells them to go, run, and there's transmat locks. and Yaz and Graham are with Umbrian and the family, and they're talking about Umbrian it's a Hindu marrying Muslim, but Umbrian adores Prem, and Graham's chatting with Yaz, and Yaz is all her nanny must have lied to her, and then Graham has a lovely speech, and he reassures her, look what we're doing, Yaz, we're travelling with the doctor, just live this moment, and that is very in keeping with Graham's story. Brian and Prem are running back through this field, saying, we've lost the doctor, we lost the doctor. And then Yaz, there she is, and the doctor's running back, and she gets them all to go into the barn, and then the demons arrive, and they have orders from above, and the doctor uses the transmat to lock out the demons. Now, Manish, the other brother, he doesn't want the wedding to happen because of these borders. He believes in these borders and separation. And Umbrian wants to start the wedding early because there's a lot of conflict. And there's the doctor's like, the things might change, and she says, we can't have a universe with no Yaz. I thought that was really sweet. And the doctor Sonic breaks, so she has to get lots of different ingredients and put them in her science lab so she can investigate what the purple dust is. I really like that they're going, that it said the doctor goes analog. I really like that the doctor's doing more hands-on like experiments and DIY, and it's not just relying on Sonic. She's doing lots of experiments in science. So they said they're going to have this wedding early because of the conflict coming, and Umbrian has all the women for a henna party, then Prem has all the men, and the men go play cards, and the doctor's so excited that she's in the women's group and she's getting henna, and the doctor is delighted. She says, wow, I never did this when I was a man. And then obviously Yaz says, oh, you and your jokes. And oh, the doctor's delight at getting henna is so beautiful. I love that. And then and we find out how much Umbrian, she just adores Prem. Her mum heard vehicles and gangs coming though, so she asks the doctor to conduct the wedding because they thought Manish would do it, but he's been really prejudiced against them. So we see the men playing cards, and Graham thinks Prem's lucky, but he misses Kunal, and his other brother. Both brothers miss Kunal, but his other brother manages enforcing he believes in these borders and this division, and that's the conflict between them. And then the doctor finds something out about the dust, that it's the densest material. And then the demons, they break the transmat lock and take the doctor into the spaceship. And the demons explain that they're no longer assassins, that they've changed, and their job now is to witness and honour the lost, because their planet, their world was destroyed. And they realise that their job is to remember their dead and honour the dead through time and space. And as they're discussing this with the Doctor, their voices, you hear more of the humanity in their voices. They lose the sound effect of the harshness that they had before, and their voices become more human and softer. And we find out that Prem is going to die, and they showing, and if this is changed and Prem lives, that means there possibly wouldn't be a Yaz in the universe. And this, so the demons show what they did for the holy man and how they honoured him, and they show how he died. And then the Doctor's back with the TARDIS team, and Prem has to die for Yaz to live. So, and Yaz wants to look after her nanny. Prem gets his, then we start the wedding ceremony. Prem gets his garland, and Manish's brother is objecting to this wedding, and the violence is coming closer to Umbrian's home. So there's Prem's speech about what did we fight for in the war if we're just going to divide the country and just have this division between a country. And Graham has a speech about Prem being a good man, and that this have to be a good man. And then Umbrian, she's saying the first woman married in Pakistan, and the Doctor's officiating, and the Doctor has a really cute flower in her hair, and she has the Doctor's facial expressions in this episode is so adorable. And she talks about love abides in the face of everything. I thought the speech was beautiful, and the Doctor wasn't sure how the wedding was formalised, so it's formalised by hand tying. So Yaz wraps the rope around both their hands. So she's at her grandma's wedding. That's really beautiful. And Yaz is helping, and then in the distance Manish is looking at them, and he's very upset about it. And so, and then they have the sort of reception ceremony, and Manish worked hard on the farm, and they were all got food and fed and lived because of Manish's hard work. And that's what an Umbrian ceremony is. Let me feed you, Manish. And then Manish says he didn't do it for her, he fought for Kunal and for his brothers. Then Prem is giving his watch to Umbrian, but he drops it and it smashes to the floor, giving it the smashed appearance of the present day watch that Yaz got. So Manish goes to get a rifle, and then the Doctor goes after him, and he's holding the rifle up to the Doctor, and the Doctor's trying to talk to him. And then these fighters on horseback with their machetes, they start coming towards Umbrian's home, and Yaz is helping Umbrian, and she notices a map on the wall, and it's marked off where Sheffield is, and Umbrian closed her eyes and just pointed out somewhere, and she happened to point out Sheffield, and she thought it was really exotic. And Prem is going to face down his brother, and the TARDIS team are running with Umbrian, and then they turn to look at Prem facing Manish and this division and conflict, and the doctor's watching, and then the demons appear and they say, "We'll watch over Prem now." And so the doctor leads the team away, and behind them they hear the gunshot. Then the demons are praying to Prem, and in their spaceship, and his hologram of his face goes and joins all the others in the spaceship, and they're all floating above their spaceship sort of center console bit. And Yaz is talking to the doctor in the TARDIS, and they're talking about her nanny. And then we get back to Yaz's house, and she's showing Gumby her henna that she got, and her nanny says, it's just like her own mother says, "That is very bad henna," and she's like, she doesn't like the design. And then Yaz is talking to her about what she thinks of Sheffield, and she said, well, it's not quite as exotic as she thought, but Sheffield gave them stability, a life, a home, and her family. And at that point I thought, I wonder if the doctor's wiped Umbrian's memory though, because wouldn't Umbrian remember Yaz? So I wonder if what happened there. So I thought it was beautiful, and then we get a version of the credits we've never had before, an Indian music version of the credit music of the Doctor Who theme. It was amazing. It was beautiful. It was like, oh, it's the theme, and I thought it was amazing. So what my mum thought, that she thought it was interesting and she learned a lot, and Dad thought it was very thought-provoking. And I liked the message of having the demons, was it reflected how prejudice and how the demons fought, and they were assassins, and then they realized their mistakes of being killers after their planet had been destroyed, and it was about the senselessness of prejudice. And I think religion has a lot to answer for. Religion has divided up and created the most conflict on our planet, and this artificial division of faith that it's divided people and put people against each other, and the senselessness of war, which I think it was a very good episode to put on Remembrance Day, and there were poppy fields in this, and it was about that we're all humans, and the demons' planet was lost when they were killers, and they only realized what they'd done when everything was destroyed. And the message is that it's not too late. We have our planet, our beautiful planet, and it's not too late to be good people and to stop this conflict. And I think it's about I think most of the conflict has been about toxic masculinity and about the oppression of women, because these religions, they're based around male decisions, and just none of it makes sense. It's like, nobody knows. No, we don't have a definite answer about why we're on this planet, and you can have as many separate groups as you like with separate rules and ideas, and nobody has more knowledge than the other about why we're on this planet and how we've got onto this planet, and what if there is anything up there. No, none of these named groups have any more of an idea than any other named group. So why do we have them? Why do we have like separate religions? Why can't we just believe in planet Earth and believe that this is the home that we're on? This is the home that we've got here to. We need to look after it, and we need to love each other and be a community, a worldwide community, a global community, because this is all that we can consciously know about right at this minute. Forget all this division and conflict. There's no point. Nobody knows better than any other person, and we can't know that. And nobody can know it until they actually die. So what's the point of fighting when we're alive now? But just get together, just be as good as you can be. Give love, like spread love, support each other, and just be the best people we can be. Get that the best, most peaceful people, the most supportive people, taking care of our species and all the other species on our planet, because that's what's important right now. There's no point fighting over stuff that we don't understand, that nobody understands more than anybody else. Doesn't make sense. So I thought it was a beautiful episode, and I thought it was amazing. And yeah. So I hope you have enjoyed this review, and thank you for watching. Yeah.